Welcome, Stache. It's another episode of Stache Sports. Sorry I did not have an episode yesterday after the amazing 29-point comeback for the New York Knicks, the biggest comeback in NBA history. But the reason I didn't have a video yesterday, and I hope you Staches are doing well, is because this Stache lost power for a majority of the day and got it back, and got my power back around 6 o'clock, and it was a hectic day, and I really just felt like relaxing afterwards and not doing a video. But I apologize for not doing the video yesterday, but here we go. We're going back, Stashers. Thank you for watching my episode, Stashers, and being in there with me, even if I don't do an episode. Stashers, thank you for watching my episodes. But we're going back to Tuesday night. Wednesday night, excuse me. We're going back to Wednesday night. Wednesday night was two good comeback games, even though the Pirates ended up losing the series, spoiler alert, on Thursday night. But Tuesday night or Wednesday night was two back-to-back games. Two good back-to-back games. Between the Pirates and Dodgers, and between the Knicks and the Spurs. The Spurs had a 27-point lead at halftime, but then ended up giving up a 27-point lead. I cannot believe it. I even asked my dad at halftime if he thought the Knicks were coming back. And it was also nice because my cousin EJ called me after the amazing comeback by the New York Knicks. Even though I wanted the Spurs to win, and if you go back to TJ's episode, I picked the Spurs, and I was definitely wrong in that. The Spurs looked like they were going to win the game. I mean, the Spurs... And buckle in, it's going to be a long episode today, but whatever. The Spurs looked like they were going to win the game. I mean, like I said, it was 27... They had a 27-point lead at halftime, but this game was a tale of two halves, and I actually mean that this time. And that this time, we can actually say it about this game. I think this could be worse a choke artist than the 28-3 Super Bowl between the Atlanta Falcons and New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots came back 28-3 down. I mean, I know that was a big choke artist by the Atlanta Falcons, and Atlanta hasn't been to a Super Bowl since, but I think this is even worse. I mean, yes, I get it. The Spurs can still win the next 3 games and go win in Game 7, but I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they might win Game 5 tomorrow night, but we'll get into that on tomorrow's episode, and we'll also talk about the Freedom 250 fight this week that's going to be on Paramount+. But let's get into it. So on Wednesday night, I was watching the game. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I watched America's Got Talent first, and then I watched the rest of the Pirates game when they came back and won. So we'll get into that in a minute when we talk about the Pirates. That's why I got my Pirates jersey up, and I got my 2 basketball jerseys up in the background. But anyway, the Pirates... The Spurs were up 76-49 at halftime, and I watched the second half. I couldn't believe it. The Spurs were even up by 29 points at halftime with .9:27 left in the third, which we'll get in here in a minute. But it's a tale of two halves. In the first half, the Spurs were 14 for 26 for three-pointers and made the most three-pointers in the NBA Finals half. But then they went dead ice cold. And I don't know why Mitch Johnson, the San Antonio Spurs coach, didn't do anything. And I did, since I stayed up that late on Wednesday night and didn't have anything to do on Thursday or work anything. I watched the inside the NBA, and Charles Barkley is right. That was the second half was watching one of the dumbest teams ever play in the modern day era. I mean, how the hell did he give up? How the hell did he give up a 29-point lead to a team when they win that much? I mean, like he said, the Spurs had to give him up. The Spurs had to help the New York Knicks win that game. And I mean, I know the New York Knicks outscored them 58-30, and they only scored 30 points in the second half. That's quite impressive. That's the biggest point. That's the largest scoring decrease in the playoffs in the last 70 years. They had 76 points, the Spurs did in the first half, and they only scored 30 points in the second half. That's the largest scoring decrease that's ever happened before in the game. But like I said before I went about the decrease, the Spurs were 14 for 26 in the second half, and in the third quarter, this is the tale of two halves. The Spurs took 20 shots and 12 from three-point range, and they went 2 for 12. If you keep missing the shots, I mean, like Barkley said, it seemed like they missed 8 free throws. It seems like the San Antonio Spurs missed 8 3-pointers in a row. If the San Antonio Spurs keep missing this 8 3-pointers in a row, one would think Mitch Johnson, a young coach, but one of the younger coaches would take a timeout to try to get his team settled or try to change up his game plan. I mean, I get it. I mean, the Celtics do that sometimes too. It pisses me off when they live and die by the three and not just try to go into the paint. But we'll get into the paint stuff later. I mean, they did have Victor Yamba, a 7'4", 7'6" tall player, and they could just put him underneath the hoop. And I get it. Sometimes they're going to body him, and it might be hard for him to get it. But, I mean, if you keep missing the shots, why didn't they go in for two? I mean, that's one dumb thing, too, they did. And they kept missing the shots, and the Knicks kept coming back. And then, since they're at Madison Square Garden, Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, Taylor Swift, Chris Rock, Spike Lee, and the whole crowd started going bananas. I mean, that was a wild game. I'm surprised my cousin EJ normally doesn't call me about sports, but he called me about that because that was a once-in-a-lifetime history making. I'm glad he did because I kind of wanted to talk to somebody after that game since it was a comeback game. So thank you for calling me, EJ. I hope everything's going good and hope you're doing good at work. And so my Stachers, Jake, and all my Stachers who have jobs. I hope you're doing good at work or who are retired. I hope you're doing good in life and have a good life to all my Stachers. But thank you, EJ, for calling me. I really appreciate it and hope all my Stachers are doing well at their jobs or whatever they do. But anyway, we're getting back to the game. Like I said, they were 2 for 12. And like Barkley said, they were playing dumbass basketball. Excuse my language again. But they're playing dumb basketball. And that's what he said. They're the dumbass. That's what he said. But Barkley was right. I mean, the Spurs blew that game. That was the biggest blown game. I mean, the 29-point deficit with 9:27 left in the third. And they only have like 12-minute quarters, I think, in basketball now. But that's the biggest point spread lead in the basketball game. I guess I weren't blue for the Knicks, but whatever. I just wore blue today, but whatever. But that was the biggest blown lead. I mean, I did not believe it. I mean, I know they came back with 7 minutes left, or like a couple minutes left in the game against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the series before this, and ended up sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers. But, I mean, nobody even expected it. I mean, I don't know if Spike Lee, Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, Taylor Swift, Chris Rock, Jimmy Fallon even expected that. I mean, Jimmy Fallon on the show yesterday, I saw a TikTok video, was talking about the Tale of Two Halves and how he was all upset in the first half. It looked like his team was going to get stomped. I mean, I thought that too. A 27-point lead and then a 29-point lead, and the next thing you know, the Knicks are back. But let's go back. This is the reason why the Spurs kind of blew the lead. Like I said before, the Spurs took 20 shots, 12 from three-point range, and they were 2 for 12. They only made 2 out of 12 when they made 14 in the first half. I mean, they're making a lot of them in the first half, but for some reason they went cold in the second half and couldn't make it. I don't get that sometimes. I don't get how they can make it and then in the second half go cold. I mean, Mark Brown definitely had a lot better coaching adjustments than Mitch Johnson did, and Mark Brown even did something too. Mark Brown, near the end of the game, put Jalen Brunson and his backup, Jose Alvarado, in the game, and that was a really good duo. That really changed the game, and Mike Brown really had good coaching adjustments for the Knicks to help the Knicks have a historical comeback, like the biggest comeback in NBA history in the finals game, probably in the game period. But at least in the final. Now teams that go with 3-1 have an 85% chance of winning. But as you know, in 2016, the LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers came back on the Steph Curry Golden State Warriors and ended up beating the Warriors. But we'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting time, but we'll see. I wonder how the Spurs are going to respond after blowing a 29-point lead. But this is one reason why they blew a 29-point lead. We'll get into it here. And it's like, in the third, the Spurs are up 81-52. The Spurs are up 81-52 in the third quarter. But that's just wild. With 9 minutes and 27 seconds left, they were up 82. (81-52). Excuse me, I can't read. They're up 81-52. They were up 81-52. That's just wild. With 9 minutes left, and as a casual basketball fan, you would think that's a safe enough lead when they were looking decent, even though they had a really bad third quarter. When they really had a bad third quarter, but they came back and ended up winning. I cannot believe it. I was sitting on my couch dumbfounded like Jerry Seinfeld with my hands on my head like this. I couldn't believe it that they came back and won. And even tied it up. I mean, they were up, the Spurs led 81-52 with 9:27, and they had the largest halftime lead, 27 points since the COVID bubble with LeBron James and the Lakers back in 2020 when we had the COVID year. I mean, I cannot believe it. 81-52 with 9 minutes and 9:27 left in the third. The Spurs led 81-52. The Knicks also came back from a 26-point deficit. The Spurs had 76 points in the first half and only scored 30 points in the second half, the largest decrease in the playoffs in the last 70 years. In the first half, the San Antonio Spurs only had 2 turnovers, and this is whatever happened too. They had 9 turnovers in the second half. I mean, that's not going to help you win a game when you have 9 turnovers in the second half and you'll have 2 in the first half. I mean, this is a really game that changes, that shows you that you should watch the whole game from the beginning and not tune out. I mean, I saw someone on TikTok or Facebook that said he's going to go bed because he thought the Spurs won that game and he didn't want to watch anymore. And he even admitted the next day that he did go to bed. But this is one of the games that you definitely have to stay up for, and you definitely have to not go to bed early. I mean, that's wild. That's a wild game. 29-point comeback. I know I keep saying that, but it's just wild. No wonder why my cousin EJ called, which was nice, but I hope all his Stache is doing good. But that's wild. Also, in the rest of the game, they were 14 for 26 for three-pointers in the first half. The Spurs they made 14, and they only made 3 out of 17 in the second half. That is quite a change. They made 14 stashers in the first half. 14 three-pointers. That's why they had a big lead. But they only made 3-pointers in the second half. How does that happen? I don't get it sometimes. I mean, that's just the beauty of the game of basketball and the beauty of sports, that they can be so hot in the first half and be so cold in the second half. In the second half, the Spurs had 2 turnovers. In the first half, they had 2 turnovers, like I said. In the second half, they had 9 turnovers. And they were 2 for 14 in the paint. And for those who don't know, the paint is the area beyond the free throw line in the hoop. They were only 2 for 14. They only made 2 shots. That was wild too. And Victor Yamba missed 2 foul shots near the end to try to help the Spurs hold that game. And the most dumbest play ever, in my opinion, and the stupidest play ever, even Charles Barkley said it, was near the end when De'Aaron Fox had the ball with 11.2 seconds left. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure the Knicks were trying to make a shot, and then Victor Yamba, I know I'm mispronouncing that name, I don't care, but Victor Yamba, or Wamba, whatever, blocked a shot, and De'Aaron Fox went to get it, and for some stupid reason, he decided to shoot the shot, and OG Anunoby had a block. He blocked a shot, and the Knicks got the ball off the block, and then Brunson, I think, made a 3-pointer and missed it, and OG Anunoby had to tip-in shot to help the Knicks win by 1 point and make the biggest comeback in NBA history. OG Anunoby is the biggest hero right now in New York. I mean, he helped the New York Knicks come back from 3-1, and like I said earlier, only 85% teams win, and I think the only team that's won of recent came back from a 3-1 lead was LeBron James Lakers. I don't know if Victor Yamba and Castle and the Spurs and Mitch Johnson can do that. I mean, they might win tomorrow night in San Antonio, so New York can win Game 6 in front of that Rutgers crowd in New York and see what happens with the city afterwards. But they might win that one. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a wild game. I still can't fathom 2 days later that they came back from a 29-point lead at whatever time it is now I'm doing this video. I still can't fathom that and believe that. I mean, I know it happened. I mean, it's just wild. The fans didn't even leave a stadium afterwards. The fans are partying on the court while the team why the ESPN inside the NBA crew was going on. They were still cheering on. But that's pretty bad. 2 for 14 in the paint in the second half. And 3 for 17 on 3-pointers in the second half. And the largest scoring decrease in the playoffs in the last 70 years. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a Spurs fan because that was pretty misery, and I don't know if I would even go to work the next day if I had a job. If I was working the next day, I mean, I probably would, but that's pretty misery to be a Spurs fan and have to deal with that and have to watch that. I mean, thinking you're going to win the game in the first half, and that's one reason too why if you're at the game, you never leave until the final whistle's over because you never know. Imagine if you're up in the upper deck in New York and you're like, oh honey, let's leave the game because it's a 20-point lead or whatever going into the fourth quarter, and let's try to beat the traffic and get out of here before the city goes bonkers. And then the next thing you know, you're driving a car and you hear them come back. I'll be pretty mad if I left that game early and I was paying all that money for a ticket. That's one reason my dad says he always makes sure you stay until the very end of games because you never know what's going to happen unless if you actually have to go because of any kind of reason. But that's why my dad always says that you have to go, you have to stay at the beginning. That's why my dad would always say you have to stay until the very end. I mean, they had a 27-point lead at halftime, and they had even a 29-point lead, but they came back. The Knicks outscored a team that scored 76 points, 58-30 in the second half. I mean, that's really great adjustments. And like I said, Jalen Brunson was on the field with Jose Alvarado. That's the first time that Jose Alvarado and Jalen Brunson have been on the court for the same time in the playoff series, or at least let alone in the finals, because most of the time they're not, because Jose Alvarado's Brunson's backup. But for some reason, Mike Brown decided to do that, and that was a really great coaching system. And OG Anunoby, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but OG Anunoby had a great game. I mean, he had to block. I mean, most basketball fans and common sense, I mean, Darren Fox has been in the league for like more than 9 years. So the most basketball fans and most people would think, let's dribble the ball out. Or like most basketball fans would think, and even OJ Anunoby or basketball players would think like, let's dribble the ball out. Let's not try to get a shot. I mean, I know the Spurs are up 106-107 at that time. Or 106-105 at that time, whatever the final score was. Yeah, 106-105. And for some reason he decided to do it when they had like 11 seconds left in the game. And New York was on the trail to come back. I mean, they almost came back. Or they were coming back, and I think they even had a lead at one point of the game before the Spurs took it back. But why would you do that? You have a lead. I mean, go to the foul shot, for crying out loud. I mean, that's what you should do. You should dribble out the ball for 11.2 seconds and go to the foul shot. I mean, worst case is you miss 2, and then maybe they get a lucky shot like they did at the tip-in. But you never know. I mean, I don't remember, because I was too invested in the game, if the Knicks had a timeout after OG Anunoby blocked a shot. I cannot remember to laugh at me if they had a timeout. But even if they didn't, they have a fast clock. So if you try to dribble it out and waste more time on the clock, then maybe that secures your win and it goes 2-2. When it looks like for the majority part of the game until the very end in the last quarter, that's going to be a 2-2 series until the last 9 minutes and 27 when the Knicks start coming back and making it look like they're actually coming back and change the outcome of that game, which they did, a 29-point deficit. It looked like it's going to be 2-2 going to San Antonio, and you would have swung the momentum or had some momentum back in your favor. But now that only 85% teams come back from a 3-1 deficit, and you choke the lead, and you choked away the lead, or a 29-point lead. I mean, this could be the biggest choke in NBA history, biggest choke in all sports. I mean, I think it's even bigger than a 28-3. Because football is a little different. I mean, I know basketball and football are different, but I think this might be the biggest point spread and point. I think this might be the biggest choke job in all sports. Like Barkley said before, like I said in the video, that was kind of done basketball. And like all the other people were saying, the Spurs had to help him win. I mean, that's kind of helping him win when you go 3 for 17 for 3-pointers and 2 for 12 in the first quarter. I mean, keep missing their shots. When you have Victor Yamba and all these players try to get in the paint, maybe you would have been better than 2 for 14 in the paint if you would have gone in the paint, but I don't know. That's just wild to me. I can't believe it. 81-52. And they won. In the fourth quarter, Victor Yamba, the All-Star for the San Antonio Spurs, only had 5 shots in the fourth quarter. He was pretty bad in the most important part of the game. When your superstar is that bad, it kind of affects the rest of the team. And the next, Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby combined for 30 points, but they were having a great game, and that's why they came back. I mean, Jerry Seinfeld was shocked. Jimmy Fallon even hugged Jerry Seinfeld at the end of the game when they won. I mean, that was a wild game to be at. I can't believe the atmosphere in that game. I mean, that was a wild game to be at. I mean, Spike Lee was all excited when he was on ESPN later, but that was a wild game. Like I said, if he had 2 missed foul shots in the second half, that would help the Spurs win. But like I said before, the most dumbest thing was De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox should have been smart enough and dribbled out the ball. I mean, that's common basketball sense. That might be the dumbest basketball play since the J.R. Smith play a couple years ago, and I think it might have been against the Golden State Warriors again too. That might be even dumber than the J.R. Smith play a couple years ago in basketball in the finals. I mean, that was a pretty dumb play. We have a day off before they play tomorrow, and we'll talk more about this game tomorrow and talk about potentially if the Knicks will win the first series since 1973 tomorrow, or if the Spurs will afford at least one more game in San Antonio when the game kicks off tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. The game is Saturday, June 13th, 2026, and today is Friday, June 12th. So it's not happening today, so probably watching wrestling tonight. But that's interesting. The next one, 107-106. Champagne for the Spurs had 33 minutes, had 5 points. Victor Yamba had 24 points, 44 minutes. De'Aaron Fox, who had a outrageous miss and outrageous messed up, had 16 points. 18 points, I can't read, with 37 minutes. Vessel had 18 points. Stephen Kyle had 13, and Dylan Harper had 22 points. I mean, Mitch Johnson might need to play Dylan Harper more. If Dylan Harper was on the court, maybe Dylan Harper would have known how to dribble out the ball and not take the shot and get it blocked. I mean, I get it. You don't think sometimes if you're that clear, you don't know they're going to come back. But that was a great shot. I mean, a great block by OG Anunoby. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you don't know if you're going to do that. But that was a great block by OG Anunoby. But I mean, like I said, they should have just drive it out. They should have just. No, I don't all over. They should have just dribbled out the ball and tried to take a foul shot and got an easier shot. But whatever. That was a historical comeback, and that was one for ages. I mean, I should have done a video yesterday, but like I said, my power was out until 6 o'clock. And by the time I got all situated, I just didn't feel like doing one. So that's why I'm doing one today. I apologize for this being late, but oh well. Now for the New York Knicks, OG Anunoby. There is an O in it. OG Anunoby had 41 minutes and 33 points. He was a superstar of the game. If it wasn't for his block and the tip-in, I mean, that was a great tip-in, too. He got his ball up there and tipped it in after Jalen Brunson missed a 3-pointer or 2-pointer to win the game. He tipped it in and ended up winning the game. That place went bonkers. Taylor Swift and everybody was jumping up and down. And Jerry Seinfeld was shocked. I mean, I cannot believe it. I was shocked, too. I was just sitting in the chair just watching it and all. I could not believe it. But OG Anunoby had 43 points. He was 7 for 9 for 3-pointers, 10 for 15 in the field goal range, 6 for 6 in free throws, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And that block was the major block against De'Aaron Fox. Karl-Anthony Towns had 26 minutes and 13 points. Josh Hart had 33 minutes and 6 points. Mikal Bridges had 7 points. I mean, they need to do better next game, but it didn't matter because of 36 points and 33 points by OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. That was able to do it. I mean, Brunson had 44 minutes and whatever. And the biggest point scorer on their bench had 2. Had 8. Jose Alvarado. And like I said earlier in the video, Mike Brown had real great coaching assistants. I mean, Mitch Johnson, last thing on this, before I switch to the other thing about the Pirates, Mitch Johnson should have took a freaking timeout and should have got his boys under control. I mean, try to calm them down. I mean, I get it, the Knicks are coming back, but maybe we would have calmed them down, and it might be a different outcome, and we'll be talking about a different thing today, even though we had no power yesterday. We'll be talking about a different thing today in today's episode. But Mitch Johnson, for some reason, did not take out his players, and that backfired, or did not take a timeout. I don't know if it's because he's young, and why he didn't do that and try to calm his players down. It's because he's young or what it is, but whatever. But congratulations to the New York Knicks, even though I'm a diehard Celtics fan. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. That was quite an impressive win and quite an impressive comeback. Now the Knicks are one game away from winning championships since 1973 and breaking that drought. We'll see if it happens tomorrow, but you have to tune in to tomorrow's episode, and we'll also talk about the Freedom 250 tomorrow, but you have to tune in to tomorrow's episode. Let's see if there's any NBA news before them. But that's all about the NBA, but if you want to hear more about it, you can watch the beginning of the video. Knicks off the brink of a title after historical comeback for Spurs. OG Anunoby put himself into Knicks NBA lore with a performance that put in New York on the brink of winning the first NBA title since 1973. His tip-in of Brunson Smith barely getting his fingertips on it was the difference in the Knicks' 107 to 106 win and coming back from a 29-point deficit against the San Antonio Spurs. They saw him rally from a 29-point deficit. Brunson challenged Anunoby at halftime to be more active. I mean, definitely be more active in the second half. I mean, I don't know what the heck they said in halftime, but they definitely switched it around in halftime, and they definitely had a lot better halftime adjustments and halftime speech than the San Antonio Spurs did. I mean, the San Antonio Spurs play really dumb basketball. More attractive and beyond offensive class. And it was almost as if fate had intervened when Anunoby outreached to a long and athletic Dylan Harper and Dylan Vessel for the basket. Anunoby inbounded the ball to Brunson, who unleashed a deep three with 4.3 seconds left. 4.3 seconds left after the block by OG Anunoby. But at 2.7 left, and by 2.1 seconds, OG Anunoby's fingers were on the ball, touching history. You have a little luck in life, Brown said. You got a lot of little luck in sports, but you can also make your luck. So you got to have some natural luck and some luck when you are going to make your own luck. And that was probably the biggest message. Anunoby was intended not leaving a chance to chase down Spurs. Their guard Aaron Fox and a block layup attempt of 11.7 seconds. If you would have took a bow like with 11.7 seconds and took the ball, that would have been different too and bounced it out. But for some reason, like I said, Fox was dumb and decided to try to shoot it. Fox could have held on to the ball, like I said, and gotten fouled as the San Antonio Spurs were nursing a 1-point lead. Fox made several crucial errors in late errors. I mean, no duh. That held the door ajar for the Knicks comeback. And Anunoby was never made an all-star team, but put himself, I mean, that needs to be an all-star now, put himself in a position to win the NBA Finals MVP with his steady performance through 4 games. We knew it if the game runs, said Anunoby. We were averaging 23 points. Who was averaging 23.8 points per game on 58 shooting this year. We're a resistant group. We have been through a lot. We're coming back plenty of times when we've been up behind. Just saying it's whether we're weathering the storm or not, and angry or frustrated, just staying with it and cut down the 18, cut it down to 6 and push through it to a 48-minute game. Just play till the end. I mean, they definitely played till the end, but that was quite impressive. But no, another thing was quite impressive. But congratulations to the Knicks. Like I said, they have a game tomorrow, and we'll talk more about it on tomorrow's episode. Hopefully, if I keep having power. But the Pirates, in Game 2 against the Dodgers and against Shohei Ohtani, came from behind. The victory, 5 more runs in the 7th inning for the first time since April of 2023. I mean, they had young players even do it too. It was nice to see the young players do it. They're stepping up right now because earlier in the week when they were playing the Atlanta Braves, our superstar Cruz broke his finger. So it was nice to see them do that. Even though they lost last night, spoiler alert, and they play the Miami Marlins tonight, which we'll get into that here in a minute. The Pirates came back and won 9-8. I mean, they almost lost it because they had one on base and stupid Shohei Ohtani had a home run. But the Pirates were able to hold on and not blow it, and the bullpen was able to do good enough. And so was the bullpen the rest of that game. I mean, let's go with it. Woo! Let's go, Books. Tyler Callahan had 2 home runs. His first 2 career home runs. His first career home run came against a superstar pitcher and maybe one of the best pitchers in baseball, and Shohei Ohtani. I cannot believe it that he had 2 home runs, and his first 2 career home runs came against the back-to-back World Series champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, that's quite impressive to have 2 of your home runs in the same game come against the Dodgers. I mean, he did pretty good. And Spencer Horwitz had a game-winning home run. The center fielder scored Triolo. In the 4th inning in that game, Mike Nancy from the Los Angeles Losers doubled right and Freeman scored. Chuck is Kingle, whatever. But Callahan had a home run in the 4th inning, making it 2-1. And in the 7th inning is when the Pirates started coming back. And like I said, that's the first time it came back with 5 more runs past the 7th inning since 2023 or 2013 or whatever. I just can't read. Or whatever it was, but I said before. Lau doubled to right, and Malcolm scored, and Callahan scored. Callahan's looking really good. He's one of these young guys that I brought up from the minor league system because of the injury Orneal Cruz, his thumb, or finger. Lau scored an error, and Reynolds safe at first, on a field error by third baseman Mike Nancy. Callahan home run to right, Gonzalez scored, and R. Flores scored. Flores is one of our upcoming catchers, but let's hope we can do good. We get to be a catcher. I mean, they need to play one of our other catchers more. Okay. They need to play Rodriguez more as catcher, but Andy Rodriguez more as catcher, but we'll see what happens. I mean, they like the other guy. Bart should be on his way out. Callahan home run, and then right after that, Horowitz home run to right center, 402 feet, and Trio scored, and then Ohtani home run, making 9-8. Sis got the win. Carmen Majeski had a pretty good game coming out of the pen. Jones had a good, decent game too. But they won that game. I mean, I know they lost the other game, but we'll get into that. Now we're up to the next game. We're up to Thursday night. The Pirates lost 8-6. I mean, they almost came back. If it wasn't for Mitch Keller, who's been really bad this year, I don't know what happened to Mitch Keller. I hope he can turn it around. I mean, I think that maybe they should have traded Mitch Keller last year. That was a big debate last year. They should have traded him. But now that he's not doing so good, his trade value is going down. So we'll see. But they lost the series to it, but at least they took 1 out of 2. So that was nice to see. And they only lost by 2 runs last night and almost came back. But oh well. We'll see if we can do good tonight against the Miami Marlins, who have been on a hot streak. Flores home run to center, one of our center catchers. Let's hope we can do good because we need everyday catcher. If Andy Rodriguez is going to play. Lau home run to right, and Gonzalez scored. Horowitz single to right, and Reynolds scored. And then Harden to third. Magnum double to center, and Flores double to right. But the biggest comeback was Wednesday night when they came back. I cannot believe that game. I was so glad they came back and beat the Dodgers and beat Shohei Ohtani in that game. And that was the first time, like I said, since April 2013, but they came back with 5 more runs behind after the 7th inning. So that's great to see. I mean, this Pirates offense is doing a lot better. If it wasn't for such crappy of a defense, bullpen, the Pirates might be. If it wasn't for a crappy bullpen, the Pirates might be a lot better this year and have a lot better outcome, a lot better record. But our bullpen has been really struggling. It's been our kryptonite so far this year. So let's hope during the trade deadline to get some more arms in our bullpen and they can try to switch that up because they're still in the thick of things on the 12th of this month. We're still in the thick of things in the season. It's still a young season. But let's hope during the trade deadline we can get more arms. But that's something we need. But now we are back. Now we are caught up to today. And like I said, there's no basketball game tonight. It's tomorrow night at 8:30. Saturday night. The Pirates play the Marlins tonight. I think the Pirates win because they're going to have a good pitcher duel. They have Ashcraft pitching, and Ashcraft's been doing pretty good. So I think the Pirates win tonight, but they got Sandy Area for the Marlins. That's going to be tough because the Marlins are on a good win streak, but I think the Pirates beat them tonight. And let's go, Bucks. The Pirates beat the Marlins. I think the Tigers beat the Indians. I think the Red Sox beat the Rangers. I think the Braves beat the Mets. I think the Yankees beat the Blue Jays. I think the Dodgers beat the White Sox. I think the Royals beat the Astros. I think the Rays beat the Angels. I think the Cubs beat the Giants. I think the Mariners beat the Washington Nationals. I think the Orioles beat the Padres. I think the Diamondbacks beat the whatever. I think the Phillies beat the Brewers. I think the Twins beat the Cardinals. And I think the Athletics beat the Rockies. But those are your NBA picks. Ball field Baker Mayfield as long-term quarterback. That's good. Let's hope we can get a good deal. NFL closed personal conduct review against Stephon Diggs. Maybe Stephon Diggs, after getting this closed, could get on the team. He's still a free agent. I can't believe he's still a free agent, but I know he tore knee up last year against the Miami Dolphins. Jonathan Cooper arrested again, allegedly violated a protection order. Denver Broncos linebacker John Cooper was arrested Thursday night on multiple charges that he violated a protection order that was filed against him earlier this week. That's not good to get busted 2 weeks in a row. I mean, he might be on his way out of Denver if he keeps getting busted, but we'll see. Like I said, at 8 p.m. on Sunday night, June 14th, so not Saturday, tomorrow night's a basketball game. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow's episode. We'll talk about the basketball game. But on June 14th, no matter what happens now, because the Democrats try to ruin it for saying some stupid reason. But on Friday, June 14th, or Sunday, June 14th, tomorrow's the 13th with the basketball games on. But on June 14th, it's a White House event only on Paramount Plus. We'll talk about that later on in next week, in tomorrow's episode. We'll talk more about that later on this weekend, and talk about my picks on that. We'll talk about the basketball game, and if I think the New York Knicks will win in San Antonio and become champions for the first time since 1973. We'll recap the Pirates game, and we'll talk more about other sports tomorrow. But thank you for being with me for the difficulties yesterday of losing power. But thank you for being with me, Stashers, and have a great week, Stashers, and have a great Friday, Stashers. Friday, gotta get down on Friday. But have a great weekend, Stashers, and thank you for watching every episode of Stache Sports. Hope you're all having a good day and having a good weekend this weekend, Stashers. But thank you for being with me and watching this every episode of Stache Sports. And thank you for listening to me talk about the basketball game, even though it's 2 nights ago, but I didn't have power, so I figured I might as well talk about it since it's a historical comeback. And again, thank you, EJ, for calling me. I really appreciate it and really liked hearing from you, and hope everything's well with you and everything's well with my Stashers. But thank you, Stasher, for watching every episode. If you have any comments or any concerns, please leave them down below when I post this video, and please like and share my video so we can get out to more people. But thank you for watching my episode, and have a good night, Stashers, and see you tomorrow.